So, hello, my name is Jonathan Blue. And I'll be discussing my paper, which is titled Exploring Success Rates and Role Dynamics in Limited Gacha Events Using Monte Carlo Simulation, a Study of Arknights. Now, allow me to give you a brief overview of the topics we'll be discussing today. First would be introduction, next is methodology, third is results, fourth is discussion, and finally we will discuss the conclusion. So, for introduction, let's set the stage with a quote from a Reddit user that succinctly captures the essence of the gacha gaming experience. Hating a gacha game is part of playing a gacha game. If you don't hate your gacha, then you don't gacha enough. The gacha gaming is akin to gambling, where players take chances to obtain coveted characters or items. Arknights, developed by Hypergriff, is no exception. Today we'll explore the success rates, role dynamics within limited gacha events, shedding light on this captivating aspect of gaming. That is Objective 1. Objective 2 is comparing the success rates or win rates between pulling for a specific rate of featured operator, non-featured limited operator, and finally a standard operator. You might be wondering what those three phrases mean. Well, first, I think I'll be introducing you to the specifics of Arknight's limited banners. So, here we will see my account and the game itself. If we head over here, this is an example of a limited banner in Arknights. You can see two characters or operators. These are the featured operators within this specific banner. And looking at the details, you can actually see here. For featured rate of operators, they account for 70% of the odds when pulling for a 6 star. Now, when pulling for a 6 stars in any banner in Arknights, there is a probability of 2%. So within that 2%, 70% of that accounts for the rate of operators, which is either Virtuosa or Viviana. After that, provided that you don't hit the 70%, you then fall onto the remaining 30%, which is the standard pull. Here you can see standard operators along with the limited non-feature operators in this banner, which enjoy a 5 times rate boost in this specific banner. Now let's move on to my methodology. To understand the mechanics behind limited gacha events in Arknights, I employed a powerful tool known as the Monte Carlo Simulation. This computational technique allows us to model the probability of different outcomes in complex systems, providing valuable insights into gacha mechanics. Simulation design closely mirrors Arknight's gacha system, but specifically intentionally by my design, yes. Considering concepts such as rate up, soft pity, hard pity, and by running a large number of simulations, I gathered data on pool outcomes, success rates, and win probabilities. My methodology ensures a rigorous analysis, offering reliable findings for this discussion. So, to give you a more clear idea, I'll be showing you my code. This is my code, and as you can see here, it implements the concepts previously discussed, which is soft pity, hard pity, and of course hardest pity. Here, num simulations define the number of simulations to run, and max num rolls is hardest pity, but 300, like we previously discussed when I showcased the limited banner. Now, wishlist is a dictionary containing characters with character names as key, with operator names as key, and their drop rate as their value. You receive Rituals and Viviana, which are the two featured operators I showcased a while ago. So wish list contains featured operators, and offers list is for operators that are in the standard pool, which includes standard operators and of course limited operators that have a times 5 grade up compared to the standard operators. So here you can see in my code that the previously discussed concepts are implemented here, where soft pity here drop rate is incremented by 0.02 when rolls exceeds 50, and for that actually also counts for hard pity, since by the time rolls reaches 100, then that's 100%. That's hard pity, yeah. And here we see roll counter is less than max number of rolls, which is previously shown as 300. We get to here. If roll counter actually exceeds 300, then crossout, the function crossout is called. Crossout is a simple function that pretty much just removes an item from the wish list and copies it into the initialized empty dictionary, which is supposed to contain all the received desired operators. So I won't be explaining this in detail since it'll take a bit of time, which I do not have, and it is a bit complex. So we'll just be focusing on results. So here, let's test out pulling for a 6-star featured operator with a rate up. It's awesome. So let's run this. Oh, and rate up actually is here. If pull is within 0.7 or 70%, as I showed a while ago, rate up characters have a 70%, counts for 70% of a chance when getting a 6-star operator. So here we see the initialization of this graph, the distribution of rolls for 1000 simulations, with y being win rate and x being the number of rolls. And we can see here that the distribution for rolls is leaning more towards the left side, which means most simulations actually got Virtuosa before reaching 150. As you can see here, there actually were 10 simulations that managed to get Virtuosa in a single pull. Here we see the distribution of win rates in Arknights Limited Banner Simulation, where the average win rate is 0.04, which is essentially double the base rate of pulling for any 6-star operator in any banner in Arknights, and the average number of rolls is 77, which is ways away from reaching hard pity at 100. So all in all, it's pretty good odds, yeah. So that's the results for pulling a specific 6-star featured operator with a rate. Now let's try a non-featured limited operator, which is Scotty. So if we run this, you can see the distribution of rolls, this time leaning more towards the right, since the left is a bit more sparse. This is because of the lower rates, yeah. And you can see that the highest number of rolls in any simulation is 300, which means there are a fair amount of people who actually, fair amount of simulations that actually needed to reach hardest pity in order to get it. So here's the distribution of win rates, and you can see the average win rate is 0.006, less than half of the base rate at 0.02. The average number of rolls to win is 238, very close to hard speed and way past hard pin. So, yeah, not good at all. But let's test out the results for pulling for a specific standard operator. Jessica the Liberated. And we can see here that the number of total rolls has skyrocketed. This is because standard operators cannot be obtained through hard pity. Hard pity is only available for featured operators and limited operators in limited banners. So you can see that yes, there actually is someone who pretty much reached 20,000 pulls. My god. So, as you can expect, the average win rate is pretty low at about 0.002, which is actually surprising considering most of my runs showed an average win rate of 0.001, but I'm guessing this is a exception. Let me try running this again. Yeah, that's 0.001. So the usual average win rate is 0.001, and the average number of rolls to win is 2,931. And by record that. So that's for the results. Let's move on to discussion. So we found out that the 6-star the win rate for pulling 6-star featured characters with rate up is at a high 0.04% average. This effectively is double the base 6-star operator drop rate, which is at a 0.02 or 2%. On average, it takes around about 83 pulls to obtain the desired operator, which is before the hard pay mark at 100 pulls. Thus, I recommend pulling for 6-star featured operators during their rate of banners as it significantly boosts players' chances of success. However, pulling for specific standard operators and limited banners is ill-advised. As we've observed, their win rate is at an extremely low 0.001% and would require making a high number of pulls with an average about 2,760, making it a fool's errand. Even for non-featured limited 6-star operators, the odds are still pretty low, with a pretty low 0.007 rate of winning, making it also inadvisable to pull for them as well. So, in conclusion, this study is a Monte Carlo simulation to this study used a Monte Carlo simulation to analyze the outcomes of pulling unlimited banners in the game Arknights. Focusing on the success rates of obtaining specific characters, results indicate that when aiming for a featured 6-star operator with a rate up, the chance of getting that character doubles compared to the base rate of 2% for any 6-star character. However, attempting to pull for a non-featured limited character leads to a significantly lower success rate, even with the advertised increased chance. In fact, the success rate is less than half of the base rate. Similarly, aiming for the standard characters in limited banners yields success rates that are only 1/20th of the base rate. Therefore, it is recommended that when rolling for desired characters, only pull for them on banners where they are featured with rate-ups, as this significantly reduces the numbers of pulls needed to obtain them.